Super is the new horror film starring Val Kilmer, who you may know as Batman from the 80s,
No idea. No.
and a guy called Patrick John Fugger.
That's a fun name.
Yeah, I'm guessing you haven't heard of him either.
No, I have not.
Okay, good. Well, then this film is going to delight you. You've already seen it, of course, because we're going to review it. But it's a horror film about a mysterious caretaker of a block of flats was it New York? I think it's New York.
I think so. Somewhere like that.
Yeah. And there's like a paranormal edge to it, and a lot of things happen. It's like a horror supernatural thriller film.
Yeah, it's very supernatural actually. More so than I expected.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, because pretty much the first like hour of the film is, yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's slow. I don't know how to say it, but it's not great.
It's slow in the whole first hour, really.
Yeah. It's worth persevering with though, because you gave up before the end, didn't you?
I didn't give up. I went to sleep.
You gave up. But I've got to say, the Super, as difficult as it is to watch for the first hour or so, it does pick up a lot in the end, and that final act pays off a lot. And there is a twist that I genuinely didn't see coming.
Yeah, I mean, you told me obviously what happened in the end, and I'm quite disappointed that I watched all the rubbish to not get the best bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that's the one thing about the Super. The rest of the film kind of lets down what's actually quite a good twist at the end. And for a horror film, I think it's nice. Like, it's not memorable. It's not going to be one of my favourite films of the year. It's not even going to be close to being like the best horror film I've ever seen. But it was actually surprisingly good at the end. I think that's the best thing I can say about it.
Okay, well, I think that seems fair.
Yeah, but what about Val Kilmer? He plays the Super. He was adequately weird, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was fine.
Do you think it was too much? Because sometimes they have characters in horror films that are just there to be as weird and off-putting as possible, and sometimes it goes too far, doesn't it?
It does. It seemed very cheesy to me. Like,
Yeah, he was
cheesy level. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was kind of at the start. He was creepy. He was like It was maybe a bit too obvious. Like he was sort of being weird for no reason, following the Patrick John Fugger's kids down the hall and doing slightly oddballish things, and it just felt like they were trying to put a red herring there to make you think this is the guy that's going to be doing all the bad stuff, when actually that might not be the case. But everything kind of happens at the end, and maybe I think it's fair to say he's not quite as 100% heartless, evil, terrible person that he's made out to be at the start. And I think they almost make that too obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a fine line for horror films nowadays to get it right, and for me, I don't think it did.
Yeah, it didn't have enough scares, did it? Like, a horror film should at least make you jump a few times throughout and kind of get you on the edge of your seat. And I felt like there was a lot of kind of nothing at the start where they were setting it up, where they should have just thrown something in there to keep you like hooked in. Which is a shame, because the end really pays off well, and I'd recommend to anyone to sort of persevere with that first bit, because it does get better, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. And I am disappointed that I didn't watch the end. Like, from what you've said, because obviously I didn't see it, I am quite disappointed with that.
By Borrowbin, let's do this. The Super, what would you do?
Bin.
Oh, that's harsh. I'd borrow. I'd watch it on TV. If we saw it out, conveniently enough, the Super is available to download on all major streaming platforms. So go and do that now and check it out, because it's worth a watch.
Yeah, Friday night film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Day night.
Date night, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want your date to fall asleep, that is.
Harsh.